Welcome to Squad Ops One Life Operations. I am bcarr, and I'm here to take you through Operation Wicked Gardens. Wicked Garden is on Camdash, and it's on one of our special cool modded layers. Gives us a few extra toys.
They're gonna have techies, right? So
and it's gonna be an interesting operation. We've got 3 routes that British have to clear. They get to take one route, and then there's 3 potential fortifications they're going to have to clear, where the insurgents here in Camdash, they have fortified each of these routes in one of these particular places. If we can get the little map, we've got each of those shields you see on your map are where a potential fob can be for insurgents. And the insurgents are going to have 1 fob per route. So they can be on, say, for instance, Delta 88. They can put another one at Golf 11-9, and they can put a third one at Lima 11-1. Each of those fortifications have different bonuses. And the bonus for the green route gets to have 2 HMGs, which is pretty awesome. The yellow route gets to have a mortar, and the red route doesn't have a bonus. It exists. That's its bonus. We've also got a little bit of a variable as to where British can start. British get to choose between their west or their east outposts from which to set out from their patrol. And they don't really have much in the way of vehicle assets. Let's just go ahead and go through what we've got for each team. For the British, each squad has 2 ARs or LMGs, 2 breachers, which we'll go over in a second, and a medic. Now, each of the British squads, one of them can be a wildcard squad, so they could have a little bit different setup. One of them can have weapons, or is a weapons squad, so that's 2 MGs, or 2 MMGs, I like to call them, 2 LATs, and 1 medic. That's replacing the ARs and the breacher kits that a typical squad would get. They also have an option for a mortar squad. The mortar squad gets 2 SL kits, like one as an actual squad leader and one as a spotter, and 1 medic. Plus they get a Logi, which they can load however they like. And the mortars, they get 2 mortars to put down pretty much wherever they want on the map to support their patrol. INS are going to have 2 ARs, 1 medic per squad, plus 2 platoon scouts. They'll have 2 Logi techies with which to set up their 3 FOBs, and 2 Dishka techies with which to do a general patrol. And as you might have heard command comms talk about, shortly we'll be having a UK briefing. We'll go ahead and position ourselves up here, wait for that to happen. Some squads are still setting up their loadouts and getting generally ready to go. The breacher kit is something we'll go over after the briefing, but it's one of our mod specialities. It allows for a certain explosive ordnance to be carried by a certain conventional faction, which I think, now that we have 2 of them in each British squad, we'll see them actually get used. I do believe we'll have a proper briefing here any second, as British go ahead and get together. Everyone's lining up. Of course, you can also see we have these corporal icons here. These are our fire team.
Welcome.
Oh, here we go.
Welcome to Operation Wicked Gardens. So this operation is based on that the insurgents are doing some training here in the area of Camdish. One of my helpful squad leads is going to mark the camp locations, which we believe they are at, on the map for you. We're going to be taking the green route. If you looked at the op doc, it's this most southern route there is. So this route we will face at least a HMG location. The insurgents also get mortars along the yellow route if they so choose to set them up. They also get 2 technicals and some that are armed with dishkas and 2 other technicals, so they have some mobility. So as you can see, we're starting from the west, so we will go to the Charlie 11 camp first, the Golf 12 camp second, and then the final camp will be Lima 11. And if we clear off all 3, we will then just hold out in Lima 11 until the round ends. We're going to be going out of main here in a platoon formation. We're going to be doing like a tactical command, 1, 2, 3 in that order, with Squad 4 in the rear. Squad 4 is the weapon squad. They have 2 MGs, which we will be using to support our bounds if we come into contact. Basically, if we face the insurgents in the open, that's fine. That's advantage to us. We'll use the 4 squad's weapons to suppress them, and you guys will be bounding by fire team and pushing them and hopefully forcing them to retreat, move, come out of cover, and there we can slaughter them in the open. Once we come up to one of the camp locations, that's where the advantage flips to them. They're going to be holding out in buildings, but we have a few things to our advantage on that. We can suppress the windows with AR fire. We also have some breacher kits. If you guys got assigned the breacher kit, you have a satchel charge, which is something you place on the ground, and 20 seconds later it blows up. The explosion is much larger than an IED, so placing it anywhere outside of a building is going to help you guys breach that building, because all the occupants will either become injured or die instantly. So if you guys have come up against kind of a strong point in one of these compounds, bring up the breacher, everybody kind of walk away because you don't want to get destroyed by either, and once that explosion hits, breach the building. If you don't have a breacher, remember, grenades are your friend. Even an underhanded grenade through the doorway before you walk in is better than going in with nothing. So that's the basic plan. We're going to be moving west to east in that order, and after each camp clearing, we'll get back into a formation and move on to the next camp. Is there any questions?
Yes.
Oh.
What's the plan for the preachers? Do we protect them until we get into the camps, or can they just participate in combat any way they want?
That's up to your squad lead. I would say shoot your rifle first, worry about your secondary weapons second.
Alright.
Any other questions?
Want to go over chain of command?
Alright, well that's all I got, guys. I'm going to let your squad leaders go ahead and take this extra time, sort you guys out. Maybe they'll do some CQB training with you over at the building there. If not, good luck and see you in round 2, man.
Alright, so XBit is commanding British first. He's going to have HML, Fulcrum, Jackboot, and Crispy as his squad leads. He's going to take green route. We haven't seen a British force take green yet today. Earlier this afternoon, we ran this operation. We had red and yellow chosen, but not green. Green was not desirable because of the HMGs. Anyway, on the other side of things, we have Dorf. Dorf is commanding INS today. He's going to have Silas, Stormfront, Lawn Darts, and Shadowed Ritual as his SLs. Let's take a look and see where they've set up real quick. Okay. So they're going to be set up, looks like all on the middle ones. All on the middle. The Golf 8-7 for red route. And they're going to be set up at Golf 11-9 for yellow. And they're going to be set up at, ooh, maybe not. Yeah. And then looks like Golf 12-5 maybe. Yes. So they're going to be all along the middle, I believe. Unless they're going to hold one of the red, as I get over here on the map. the markers, they take a little bit to, they don't render for the entire map all at once. Not typically, especially not for the other team, since we're spectating as British forces in blue, INS in red. I just want to make sure we haven't missed anything, so I'm just going to keep on going over here. I don't think we have. So it should be weird to see how British are going to cope with this green. Depending on where the INS end up setting up their HMGs, let's see if we can get a little preview here. Because they'll get 2 HMGs on the green route, along with some fortifications. Let's see if we can find if they've... Oh, they can't build them yet, that's right. But they have one of their Dishkatekis here. I imagine this will fill up with a driver and a gunner, and this is a shielded Dishkateki. I imagine we'll see... Ooh, you know what? This may not be a bad position for a gun. Matter of fact, look at this. You got this little blind right here. I hope INS are pretty ingenious about the ways they're going to put these the Dishkas they'll be able to work with. Because this is a route, like I said, we haven't seen used today in operations. I think it'll be... It all comes down to execution. I mean, do they clash with INS beforehand? Do they not? How fast do they get to their objective? Also, if they're going to fully clear Charlie 11-6, which is the first village on their route, which is, I believe, no, it's the one further this way. If they fully clear Charlie 11-6, it could take them a little bit of time. This is the village that they're going to stop at first. There's plenty of windows that open to the direction that the British would be coming from. So they could take their time strolling in here, and clearing this could take another 5 minutes. Maybe less if once they realize that nothing's here. Alright, we've got a live time of 1:40, so just about 90 seconds to go until we get going here.
Let's do a column, so each squad splits their fire team left and right of the column.
XBit's going to enforce a little formation. In the new kits that we see, of course, if you're familiar with the Squad Ops mod, we have fire team leads, which are indicated by the double chevron, double rockers up. Those are corporals.
Right here.
They are generally the sub-commanders for each squad. Thanks to our Squad Ops mod, they're aside from medics and squad leads, they're the only icon that shows up on the map. And also we have breachers, which you can see with the exploding sign right here. Revy's one of them.
You guys buddies.
Yep.
Myself and Sonny for the next team.
Breachers have this thing called a satchel charge. And this satchel charge has this brilliant thing called a time fuse. And it does exactly what it says. It probably lasts for, I'm not sure exactly how long the time fuse lasts. I think it's about 20 seconds, 25 seconds. And after that, a significant explosion is created. And for most of these buildings, the occupants of said buildings are going to be either outright killed by this blast or injured. And they'll have to bandage before they're able to do anything else. And we are live for round 1, Wicked Garden. XBit is the gatekeeper. Allows a squad to pass.
On a walking pace or
I'm gonna get some cool screenshots.
They don't know how fast to walk. It's a very typical thing. You don't want your You don't want to. You want to keep some stamina in the can, as it were. You don't want to be able. You don't want to just burn all your stamina all the time.
The Friday night firefight yesterday.
Supervisor.
What the fuck you doing?
You sit up right here, Supervisor.
Alright.
You can see west.
Yeah, this is a good building for you guys. Keep up
Some
360 security.
some hearty
Part of the 360.
some hearty conversation there.
Just remember you.
And the British are off. They've taken to the hills. Looks like they're moving south. This is southeast. They were apart and now they're back together again as they come up here. Once again, they're following the green route, which is the green route generally takes a southern exit from the British west start. It turns east after about 500 meters. Actually, yeah, it's probably about 500 meters. It turns east and it goes through a town which has suspected INS activity. And then past the town, another 400 or 500 meters east, there's a curve that it takes.
When you're walking,
Another 600 meters to another town.
really breaks the immersion.
And then a click to the next one. The last one in the green route,
Especially
which will be their holdout point.
free look to the side, and just like all of a sudden it's like a dolly shot from a movie.
Looks like the British have opted for a weapons squad, as we can see here. Creeping is using a MMG.
Letter.
The mini-me.
Taxi on the phone right now. We're all gonna tell him.
He's having a conversation with his comrades. It's a great conversation, I'm sure. You had to be there for the context.
Chris. You mean 10 meters to your left?
This route keeps British out of the way of like 95% of potential INS attacks until they come to the first town.
That is why Sabari will be the one that kills you.
Maybe there's an INS pathfinding force, but I
command.
highly doubt.
This one.
Crispy, are you gonna like map edge it, or are you gonna turn east from here?
I'm about to... We're gonna turn east.
Crispy leading the element from the front.
Yeah, this battle is at... There is
Binocs in hand.
Definitely cover and everything.
Keeping an eye out. Get a little reset on our position here.
Alright, got that.
We've moved about 600 meters south, and we are now beginning an eastern turn. I believe we have another 200 meters from contact with this village, and there's no element at the village.
I just haven't said anything.
It's like a fucking slinky.
Yeah, pretty much. He's rubber banding real bit.
Hey, Revy, I want you guys in the map order, okay?
Command, this is one.
Let's pull back and get a bigger picture of where everyone is.
Hold, by push, and then we're just gonna do a quick scan.
You see the blue blips, those are all British infantry. And you can see on the right side of the screen, there's some buildings on the ground. That's where they have to clear their first part on the patrol.
Alright, one's moving.
And once they get to the village, which we are going to go over top of right now. Let's take a look and see where our enemies are. Discotechies, anyone? I'm going to cheat here and switch to this. Oh, that looks like it could be a discotheque with a spotter.
Squad 3 is command. Squad 3, I want you to head a little to the northwest, about 100 meters, and hold our northern security.
Squad 6, we set to push into the town?
Yeah, wait for everybody to be set and overwatch for you guys.
It's quite a bit of empty time here, sadly. But this is, you know, it's a long way to go. Let's go ahead and take a look at some INS forces and get a look at their fortifications after they've had a little bit of time to build now.
You know the situation over there. Send as many as you're willing to give. Or you have a better read of the situation.
This is a buddy team. They're at Fox 11-4. There's a couple of buildings here along the road. There's a buddy team. Looks like they're just trying to get information here. There's an AR. Who is this guy? He's got a pistol. Well, that'll certainly be effective at the hundreds of yards you'll need to be able to fire from there. Good sir. Let's go to the second village along the green route. It's going to be a Golf 12-5. Let's take a look and see how the construction has fared. Of course, we have the radio right off the side of the road.
Squad 3 is command. Squad 3, I want you to bound across the road to Delta 10-1.
And they've got one person guarding the entrance from an opposite room. Questionable placement, but we'll give it to him.
This is 1, this is first station, we have good overwatch. We have good eyes from the building.
We got a few people out here
Go ahead and enter the town and clear
looking to their general west.
Copy that.
They want to make sure that they're not going to get snuck up on. Not very many people looking to their direct west. Let's go up here and see if they put any dish kits down. That looks like a no so far. Unless I've completely missed one. It's a possibility. Otherwise, just a squad completely stretched pretty thin. If this is where INS gets first contact, British are going to be pretty much in the clear. They got a squad lead back here, looking to their east. But no construction to speak of. Maybe they're holding back supplies for their mortar. And speaking of their mortar base, about 400 or 500 meters away, this is the fortification at Golf 11-9. Oh, this is where the technical has gone. They have turned it into a turret. And they've added sandbags to the stone walls to shield the truck. And if you don't get to use the truck for gathering information about your enemy, and you're going to have to undig something to get the truck out. as the British have completely cleared Charlie 11-6, their first stop on their 3-stop tour. And they're leaving Charlie 11-6.
You're going to be the kind of northern.
And supposedly there's supposed to be a mortar around here somewhere. Let's see if we can find it. Yes.
You're going to be the northern element of this column, so you're going to stay about 100.
We got a mortar with a dedicated soldier here. Looks like he's got himself an AMD.
This is one we're bounding just to hold so you guys can catch up.
And this could
correct?
cause some problems. As we see, the boredom has now set in. We will not name the soldier. We have all been here before. It would be kind of sad if he took an explosion and the only thing that, you know, could save him was a sandbag that he damaged by knifing it. It would be sad, and we would laugh. Let's take a look back at the British. Their closest point of contact is that buddy team that's pushed all the way out here to, what is this, Fox 11-2, the buddy team that's here at the fork in the road. The British are starting to move east now. They've cleared the first objective.
Hey, so HML just disappeared, and I'm in charge now.
Yep, that's fine. Squad 3 move south.
Copy that, will do.
As we can see here,
Contact yet, so if he reconnects, you can put a
looks like British have sent a force to linger
haven't taken contact yet, so
up
if he comes back,
northeast of the Charlie 11-6 town, maybe to take a peek at Delta 10-6, which isn't really that far away. Maybe they saw it was unoccupied and they've fallen back to join their platoon. And the platoon is now taken off towards the east. They're moving out to Gulf 12. They're going to be well south of the road here. There's a little bit of a sinking ground, element to the ground here. A little divot in the side of the hill of these mountains, right at the base of the mountain.
How far south do you want us to go?
Location.
And they are moving out
I'm just waiting for some stragglers to catch up.
in a general formation. It's a pretty loose line, or maybe it's more of a chevron. No, that's not a chevron.
Hey, I just got someone that just joined my squad. He joined very late.
Yep, this is a one life operation.
Can I just have him join?
Operation Wicked Garden. And here we at Squad Ops, we run one up operations, or one life operations, 4 times a week. Run them on Wednesday evenings, Friday evenings. And we run 2 sessions on Saturdays. And this is what we'd like to call Saturday Session 2. Where we have 4 squads and a command against another 4 squads and a command. Well, let's take a look and see what's going on over here. Everyone is stopped.
And this is 4. Looks like we're getting a big split in here. 1 and 2 are way ahead, and 3 is.
There was an issue.
Yeah, that's fine. 3 will catch up.
And we are getting pretty close. We're getting closer now.
Okay, you got it.
700 meters from contact. And we have switched from the general file that we had before to a pretty loose organization.
Keep your eyes open, guys.
I haven't heard techies yet.
Well, maybe not. Stalker's keeping his guys, his little fire team right here in line. And they're trucking along in a pretty much direct east. And here's Cake with the breacher kit.
Yeah. We're gonna keep this column here, fellas.
Making a wise call to keep that column there, fellas. They keep it pretty loose formation. They're not in any rush. And I would imagine they're moving from point to point. They may not be anticipating contact even though they're looking for it. Let's get a little reset on how close we are to some action here. On the right here, we've got... There's a little overhead view. On the right here, we've got the next objective area. This is Golf 12-5. Still no emplacements that I can see. And it only looks like there's a fire team left behind here. A few other people. Was generally about a fire team's worth of folks here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. This is a very loose defense. And I think this is part of the anticipation that, you know, INS gets 2 HMGs. It's going to be tough to get through, potentially.
Yes.
Maybe this is a miscalculation by INS.
Alright, let's head direct for it.
Expit calls out, let's head direct for it.
Squad 4, go ahead and move into an overwatch position again. Once one is set, 2 will go ahead and enter the town and clear it.
Let's get a little better view here as we get closer. The British have come over the hills. And they're moving around to the maybe a southeast angle of attack on Golf 12-5. Pretty good organization here. The rear element doesn't appear that far away.
Squad 3, in about 100 to 150 meters, I want you to go ahead and stop and hold security to our north.
Expit sets north security, which is great, and it appears that everyone is going to stop. They're going to hold position just west, maybe southwest of their objective. Southwest of their objective for sure. This is an elevated position. It's probably the most elevated position they'll get to assault from. Squad 1's going to move to their position. They may get spotted. But I'm not sure. Let's check and look and see where maybe we can get some... Yeah, look at this guy. He's a scout, I think. Because he doesn't have a radio on his back, and he's got binocs. He may be reporting this attack here. He probably has the eyes to see it. Let's see if we can see it through his perspective here. Here we go. Oh yeah, he definitely sees it. He's getting behind the rocks.
Yeah, 3. It looks like you got a good position there to overwatch the north.
Yeah, INS now know. They are on the green route. This guy is probably gone crazy. He is prone, and he is finding hard cover. He knows that tree can't really save him. He's gonna get on top of this rock here, trying to get as much information as he can. The few people in village seem to have turned and faced their west. The entire platoon here is spread out in a line on this hill. This scout may actually get pinged here.
This is 4, we're set.
1 sec.
I thought UJ Key was looking at him. If not, Egon, rather. Aegon shifting position there and may not get a good shot. This scout has probably lost his mind. I wonder, there's no IEDs or anything in the area.
Contact. I see contacts at least one time in the compound. G1251.
And
Yes.
ooh,
G1251.
speaking of reinforcements, the second of the 2 discotechies has arrived. And they're gonna try to roll on the opposite hill here. Let's see if they can put some rounds on some targets as they open up on, and they may have gotten one guy. Nope, they ditched the techie. Maybe it just ends up drawing fire from the AR. You know, it's Aegon over there. Expert ordering Squad 2 to enter the village. And INS are definitely beginning to react now. Sending mortars out against the northern element. The mortars appear to be pretty close, but no casualties yet.
Squad 2, I need you to get into that sound and clear it out.
Tracers being traded here. Let's take a look and see how this looks from the British line. British, of course, they all have those lovely bipods built into their foregrip. Sonny sets up his mini-me. He's looking for more targets. He advances forward. Mortar's pretty close. Hits at least one. Mortar's claiming their first casualty for the day. Dr. Starkville moving his fire team in here. Jack Boot trying to get some more identification on potential targets here.
Bravo, you see him, light him up.
Want everybody to sprint. Alright. I want my ARs to spread out north and south on these fucking rocks right here.
Oh, the mortars appear to be hitting the same position. A little bit more spread there, but no more effectiveness. An entire squad is on these rocks. Another volley of mortars, about 2 minutes behind their effectiveness. A pretty cautious approach here for British. UJK and Revy, they're moving into the north. I'm not sure they saw the squad lead over here and this extra guy.
This is fucking epic.
Apparently something's fucking epic. But if Revy doesn't open his eyes, he's going to get shot here for his south. His southeast may actually very well be spotted here shortly.
Maybe let's get around this rock.
Yep, I think if this scout has a gun out, which he doesn't, he still has his binocs out. He's having a little trouble navigating that rock. I think that squad lead is still looking for contact. These guys still have their binocs out. Oh, no. This scout now has a gun. He might have seen Revy and UJK. Now Yegon in the blind. setting up on some INS next to the technical. Ooh. Everyone gets dinged.
Yeah, there's still a guy on that techie.
And there goes UJ Key as well. I guess they're assuming there's a guy on the techie, which there isn't, but the bullet certainly came from the technical area. Revy's now alone, and he's gonna have, no, he's not alone anymore. That is some great shooting there. Who are those guys? It's Kool-Aid Man, oh yeah, and Miyamoto. A superb hole from those guys, using their technical as a distraction. British are getting pretty hung up here now. The mortars take out 2. More incoming on the building. Sauce and K-34, they're stuck in this building now. I wouldn't leave if I heard more mortars coming out. Percival, Jive, Damien Slash, and the Rube Soldat continue to suppress for an element that's moved into town. An element that has now separated itself, fractured by a mortar round. More mortars coming out. BC Universe. I think this guy is dead. A squad leads down. BC Universe and Sunny have dug the radio. The technical is down. And there's only 4 INS left here in this compound area. The 2 in the hill, and the 2 next to the now smoldering technical. One more down. Now there's 3 INS left here.
I think there's another guy.
Oh,